My name is Shayla Cooper Ayala, and I'm going to be talking about the elements of boxing for my informative speech. A little overview of what I'm going to be talking about is boxing and how it compares to other sports. I'm going to be talking about boxing techniques and also the fighter's mentality before getting into the ring. So my first point is boxing is very different from other sports because of the risks involved. So before a fighter will step into the ring, they know what they're in for. They could sustain head injury. They will probably sustain abrasions to the face, brain injury, and in worst cases, even death. So that's why boxing is obviously it's physically challenging, but it's also mentally challenging because you know that you're gonna physically be getting hurt once you're in the ring. So right here is a chart comparing boxing to other sports. It has the black line is for head and neck injuries. So in boxing, mixed martial arts, kickboxing, taekwondo, and judo. So judo is right here, taekwondo, even kickboxing. They don't sustain as much head and neck injuries. Karate, a little bit more. Boxing has the most, even in comparison to mixed martial arts. Boxing is actually worse for the brain than MMA because in both, they get knocked out, but in boxing, if you get knocked out, you still have the option to get up and keep going and keep getting hit and knocked out maybe 2 or 3 times. So that's why it's worse for your brain. My second point are the different styles of boxers. So like up here, we have Muhammad Ali. Textbook boxing, they'll tell you to never put your hands down like that. But it was part of his style to get out of the way of punches by putting his arms down and just moving his head, which is not something that other boxers do. So that was just his style. And then down here, I have Mike Tyson. He had a very unique style because he was a heavyweight, but he would move like he was a lighter guy. He could move really fast for being a heavyweight. He would move his whole upper body instead of just moving his head. So that was why he was unique. Different boxers have different techniques, like I said, with these. And then in boxing, some boxers will have strategies. Like they don't just go in there and try to take each other's heads off. They'll watch videos of their opponent before they get in the ring. They'll study their opponent so that they can formulate a strategy and try to win in a smarter way. They'll look for the weaknesses of their opponents so they can strengthen that and try to get them in that way and win. Up here, I have Lomachenko. He was really interesting in the fact that when he was a kid, he took years of dance so that he could get the best footwork in boxing, which he has a very, very unique style of footwork. He'll like crowd his opponent so that his opponent gets so frustrated that three of his opponents have actually given up because they've been so frustrated by the way that he crowds them. He'll like put his gloves in front of their face so they can't see, and then that's when he'll throw his combinations. So he's very unique. And then under here, I have Floyd Mayweather. He's really unique because he has a very smart style of boxing. He has a bad reputation because he's a runner, but what he does is he doesn't get hit. He barely gets hit in his fights because he knows how to move, and he does run away, but you can't just run away from a boxer. they'll know how to do it. He uses specific angles in a way that he can get away and not get hit after throwing his combinations. He also has a unique defense. They'll tell you not to do that either. You need to keep, like textbook boxing, you need to keep both of your hands up. But he puts one to protect his body, which he moves from side to side to protect the other sides of his body. And he'll switch this one from different sides of his face to protect his jaw, which is where you get knocked out. So the boxer's mentality is they need to stay calm and tactical, and they always need to be confident. If they're not confident in themselves, then they're most likely gonna lose. That's just how it is in boxing. You need to have a very strong mentality, and you need to be confident in yourself. But you also need to be calm, because if you're angry in boxing, you'll mess up. You'll misstep, and you'll get knocked out. Something else that really tears down the mentality of a boxer is cutting weight. So this is Chris Cyborg. She's actually an MMA fighter, but boxers do the same thing. They cut weight. She's taken a 105-degree bath so she can sweat more than just exercising. Even though you sweat a lot when you exercise, I guess this makes you sweat more. This is the same person with like a 20-pound difference. So cutting weight while training for a fight is very mentally hard for a fighter. So the mentality of a boxer is amazing. My conclusion is that boxing is very unique in its sport. Boxing is an art, which is why they call it the sweet science. There's a lot of things about boxing that people don't see just watching it, like the strategies, the techniques, all the training styles. There's just a lot. There's more to meets the eye than to boxing. And thank you.